I mean, it's going to, may take a few years, but you're dead. Now they just say it's good for you. This shows you the mindset, and I likened it, and we're going to Dr. Roberts, but I want to make this point, to chess being invented 3,500 years ago in northern India and what's Iran today. They debate who invented it, but it came from that area. And in it, you have the gambit, the sacrifice of a pawn. That's a good move early on, in basic chess. I'm not a good chess player, but I play some. Sacrificing a pawn. And it's a special forces tactic in the books. It's taught at West Point. Send in, 20 guys, first to go, last to know. They're going to get wiped out, but that's going to bring in the enemy into the gorge. That will then reveal their positions, and you can then wipe out the larger force. And the argument is you lose 20 men, but you save thousands in the battle by losing the 20 men. So that's why they staged 9/11. That's why they say, so what, 21,000 U.S. troops, give them to Stalin. That's why they say, hundreds and hundreds of U.S. troops, was thousands, most of them dead. Let them be slaves, let them be tortured to death for 30 years in Vietnam. It's the gambit. And that's the beginning of evil. That's why special forces people, before they graduate, they are given, for Delta Force level, they're given 1 night to read The Prince by Machiavelli and then to write a paper. And if they say, I believe the end justifies the means, they go, you're the man we're looking for, you're now recruited. If they say, no, I won't kill children, this is now in an Army manual declassified last year, was leaked by WikiLeaks from 2004, where it talks about staging false flag terror attacks. One of the favorites is to kill children, blame it on the foreign enemy. Captains and above in Black Ops are now taught this. And the argument is, well, we're fighting commies or we're fighting Muslims. They're going to kill more children if we don't kill a few, for the overall good. And that's kind of the straight razor, statement in Apocalypse Now, where Colonel Kurtz is talking about what he's had to do to win. And so this is the mindset of end justifies the means. Now I'm going to shut up and have Dr. Paul Craig Roberts go over this 2-year-old information. The Nation Institute reported it. McCain and the POW cover-up, and this was written by a Pulitzer Prize winner. But completely a news blackout in the U.S. Dr. Roberts, thanks for holding while I did that backstory. You've got the floor.
Well, let's first tell your listeners where they can read the account. It came out yesterday in the American Conservative, and so you'll have an account by the publisher of the magazine. You'll have an account by Schranberg of why he was unable to tell the story, and then you have the story itself and the evidence. He presents all the evidence. And then they have a few people discussing the story. Now, it's also, I think, this morning, it was all put up on antiwar.com. And I'm sure you'll have it up on your site. So that people can see that what was branded a conspiracy theory for several decades by the government, by the media, by all the mainstream, the establishment, they got rid of the POW issue by calling it a conspiracy theory. It's now been proven beyond all doubt that the conspiracy theory was true. The POWs were abandoned, there was a cover-up by the United States government that continues to this day. It's just like the cover-up of the Israeli attack on the USS Liberty. This was said to have been some kind of an accident, a mistaken identity of the ship, and that's been covered up ever since the 1960s. So we do have government cover-ups, a government that commits great acts of evil. I mean, what's more despicable than abandoning your own POWs? And they could have got the POWs back. All they had to do was to pay ransom. The North Koreans held back half of the prisoners, about 600 of them, in order to collect reparations for all the bombing the Americans had done to North Vietnam. And so they were willing to give the prisoners back if we would pay $3 or $4 billion in ransom. And of course, by that time, Nixon was too weak to deliver the money. Watergate was consuming him. And once a lie gets in place, it can't be undone. It wasn't possible for the next president to say, hey, look, we can get they do have our prisoners, and we can get them back for a little bit of money. So once a lie is in place, everyone ends up defending it. Even the Reagan administration ended up defending the claim that all the prisoners were back. So here we see a government that lies through its teeth about its prisoners that it abandoned and could have gotten back for very little money. So why do we believe the government tells us the truth about anything? And why do we think the media would possibly serve the people by delivering the truth when they prevented Schranberg from ever publishing his account? I mean, he had to sit on this account for years and years until finally it got out in some out-of-the-way place. And now it's become news thanks to Ron Unz, the publisher of the American Conservative, who's making an issue out of it. And, of course, you've made an issue out of it. And so what I think might be hopeful about it is that it makes people see if the government will lie about this, they'll lie about 9/11. They'll lie about Kennedy's assassination. In fact, they lie about everything, don't they, Alex? They lie about the unemployment rate. They lie about the inflation rate. They lie about the bank bailout. What does the government not lie about?
Well, here's another example. I mean, I had a congressman on more than 10 years ago from Virginia who was upset. About 6 years ago, I had a member of the Australian Parliament on who was upset. It was in the Australian news. They were saying there's a secret UN database of all our kids' blood. The government's been taking the blood since 71, 72. It was a worldwide program in Western countries. And they put it in a database, and I would have these people on and read the documents, and listeners wouldn't believe me. Now it's all over the news. Oh, guess what? The Pentagon's got your blood if you're 38 years old or younger. That's how criminal this group is, and how this national security state basically does whatever they want. Then imagine that, Dr. Roberts. For 38 years, from Australia to Canada, from England to the U.S., they take our blood to put it in a government database, and now they announce, guess what? We're going to have a global DNA database, and we already have your blood. I mean, it's just everything is a conspiracy, basically.
It does look that way, doesn't it, Alex?
It does. I mean, it's incredible.
But see, the one advantage of this conspiracy now has been blown wide open. And therefore, it may help make people aware that the other conspiracies are true, too.
Well, exactly. Expanding on that briefly, I mean, your point is well taken, and it's central. It's not just that they did this, it's the 30 years of cover-ups and not letting Pulitzer Prize winners ride on it. And now that story is as big as the POW story, that you have a giant group of people in media and government who would work together to leave a bunch of men to die. I mean, it's why?
Right. And, of course, the same group, the same people are doing the same thing now. They're leading us deeper into wars, deeper into confrontation with nuclear armed powers. The evil is loose, as you said. Evil is loose in the United States. It's got an iron grip on the government, and probably on government at most levels, in most places. So it is a very serious situation, and it remains to be seen if the people wake up, or enough of them wake up, and if they do, whether they have the capability of doing anything about it, or whether they're just going to be pawns that are continued to be sacrificed so that a very small group of elites who control the government can achieve some agenda of their own.
Well, sir, let's continue and talk about how big this story is and how important. Maybe go over some of the sections. Antiwar.com's probably got 15 articles about it and documents. The Nation Institute has them. The Conservative, the American Conservative has it. We're getting it all up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Stay there, sir. I'm glad you contacted us about this. Thank you.
We all know that the Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 4 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water systems. The revolutionary Berkey light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and re-cleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels, and removes harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $209, and the Berkey Guy will include 3 Sport Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 Sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping, an $87 value, yours free, but only for a limited time. Just call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653 now to order. That's 1-877-886-3653, or order online now at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
One major world crisis away from having a totalitarian type of system.
The main event is the wholesale destruction